How are we doing, Heather? Hope you are good. Right, let's talk through this a little bit. So, keeping things super basic. God, where are you? You're over here. Super basic at the moment. I want to keep the bench volume high. Ideally, so I'm very much kind of treading the waters with this first week to kind of see what you can tolerate and sort of what hurts and what doesn't. So let's just talk through kind of what I've got on here. I've got a typical sort of light, medium, heavy bench rotation. When you're going 3 to 4 to 5 times a week of that horizontal press, do you have to be a bit more savvy with it? And I'm trying not to get too far away from what you were already doing. Okay, I don't want to use this as a complete hard reset necessarily. So flat back, feet up bench. Yeah, typical, straightforward. Flat back still means pull the shoulders down, back, chest up, but not that exaggerated overarching through the lower back. Okay, so kind of thing, you shouldn't be able to see through your lower back ideally, but put your shoulders in a safe position. Okay, so again, I think a lot of people get mistaked between like good positioning as arching. And no, the shoulders down, back, and raising the chest up is something that we need if we're going to be going through quite a bit of volume on this one. Now, PO is because I don't want to be setting things for you specifically just yet, is basically just progressive overload. So as these next couple of weeks go on, as we go through that initial sort of like 1 to 4 week of the rehab itself, it's just going to be a case of try to add more if you can, kind of thing. I want you just to try your best, work your hardest. Bench supported rear delt fly, so that is a bench on an incline. Okay, chest down, face almost into the bench, but try and get your chin over, feet together and hands together, and then with a light dumbbell. Okay, I want you to be focusing on this as actually using your dumbbells, actually using your rear delts rather than like swinging them up and like what a lot of people do, even when they're supported on a bench. I want you to actually have to really squeeze them together and controlled in both directions. I've gone for an AMRAP on those, but an AMRAP with a cap of about 12. If you can go over 12, you do need to get a bit more weight on there. Leg extensions should be absolutely fine. Again, push the weight on those, controlled in both directions, and a nice tempo descent. Okay, controlled, bring to the bottom, pause for that brief second, and boof, off you go again, explosive. Palloff press. You can do these standing or kneeling. I would probably recommend kneeling to begin with. If you are struggling with these to get them nailed down, let me know. I would advise doing them with a band, with a plate halfway through the band, so that every time you press out, you upset that disc as much as possible, and that's the bit you're having to force against. Okay, so just want to get some anti-rotation work. Okay, work through the serratus and work through the spinal erectors laterally. Then bike sprint should be pretty straightforward. Okay, so it's like an ascending descending timer on this one. 10-second sprint, 50 seconds off, into a 20-second sprint, 40 seconds off, 30 on, 30 off, and then back to the top. Once you've gone back to the top, rest as long as you need to try and match the output that you've done on that first one. Okay, it doesn't sound too bad, but it's fucking horrendous by the time you're 2-3 rounds in. So very explosive. Okay, when you are sprinting, I want you to go in absolutely balls out on that, and taking a decent amount of rest in between the full rotations. Day 2, flat dumbbell bench. Yeah, should be quite good with that. Making sure the elbows go past that midpoint. And again, slow, controlled. Take your time, get the stretch, enjoy it. Take your time with it. And then tempo elbows tucked bench. So this is the one where I want elbows tucked in, neutral. Okay, closer to the body if you can, so you're holding the dumbbells almost straight up. If that aggravates, or it's not comfortable, or if you do purely just want to change things up, a football bar is absolutely fine. But again, tempo, controlled, gently onto the chest, and then away. Bench supported dumbbell row, so I would do that one at a time, exactly the same position as you're going to be in for the rear delt flies. Bench on an incline, lay yourself down one arm at a time, heavy. With that, okay, you can push it, your lower back and your lumbar spine are in a fixed position. So again, nice and controlled, but you can push the weight on that. Palms up plank, so regular plank, palms towards the ceiling on that one. Okay, and it's only 30 seconds long for you. Okay, which for you isn't very long for a plank at all, but I really want an active contraction on that. For 30 seconds, I want you squeezing the hell out of that core as much as you can. So again, rather than just using the position that you're in to kind of support your weight, I want your core rock solid. Okay, it's a very short duration for you, and we'll build that up over time, make it a little more difficult for you. Floor press or board press, whichever you prefer, with a long pause. And again, just on that one, do not relax during that pause. You should be in full tension the whole time, almost shaking, sort of gagging to get the bar pushed off. Long pause is just like, would be 2 seconds. You know, it hasn't got it. You ain't got to really drag it out. But the important thing on that one is not to relax. Okay, maintain that tension. Use this as a chance to get some good positioning in there, and spend as much time with the barbell under tension as you can. Leg extension, superset Bulgarian split squats. Just body weight on the split squats. Okay, again, you're not in any lumbar flexion with that one, so treat those as tempo. Again, just nice and slow, controlled. Then a bear crawl position. So you literally just in a static bear crawl position, knees down as low as you can to the floor. If you're not sure what that is, let me know. And the way I want you to kind of think about this one is, I want you to imagine you've got a tray of champagne on your back, and you're in that low fixed position. So if your ass is up in the air, drinks will top off. If you turn to one side, again, drinks topple off. You can, if you find it a bit more useful, you can have a foam roller between your knees and get a bit of active contraction through there if you want to. It's probably going to make it a little harder, but I think bear crawls may be a little too easy for you. And again, only 30 seconds to start with, but an active contraction the whole time. Don't just use the position itself to support your weight, use your core. Kneeling side plank. Okay, so side plank, you usually legs out straight, hand on the hip, and raising up. From there, exactly the same thing, just your knees are bent. Okay, just for now, just raise up, fix the position, hand on the waist, try to keep yourself as high as possible, keep your body straight. There's a tendency on this one for people's asses to drift back, and they get into this position because they don't like the weight on their shoulders. Again, bring everything in straight. Again, static contraction, hold on to it. Then some of the slightly lighter with the cardio on this one, 1K bike. Try to get it done as quick as you possibly can every time, and the amount of time it took you to do the 1K, that is the amount of time you're going to rest before you go into round 2 and look to beat it. Okay, if you do beat it, I would suggest that you probably weren't going hard enough in your first one, but the idea is to give you something to aim for. See what that recovery is like. Very simple, very basic, very straightforward. Any rehab prescriptions or anything that the guys have put in specifically, let me know and I can modify and tweak those for you. But obviously, rehab prescriptions and anything they have given you, implement in and around this. I just wanted to keep things very, very minimalist to start with, and then we can start adding layers to this over time. Okay, once these static contractions are pain-free and we're about 2 weeks down the line and we can start going into a little more lumbar flexion, then we're in a good position to go forward. So super simple, super basic, straightforward. Any issues with anything, if you're not sure of anything, let me know straight away. But yeah, let's get the ball rolling with this. All right, let's have some fun with it.